This is Philippians 4:13. Klas pulahosh satham kohonchikako nana mumaka yamahinchi lahin lahoke. Halito, Teri Billy. I am Teri Billy, Assistant Director of the Choctaw Nation Language Department. From a toddler, everything was spoken in Choctaw at home, and coming to church, all of our activities included being around Choctaw people, so basically that was the primary language that I heard. You can't escape it because you go to the grocery store, you go to the post office. The store owner, he would always attempt to learn to speak some Choctaw. And that was typical in that time. A lot of the store owners, postmasters, they would attempt to learn some Choctaw, so they'd try to carry on little conversations. So by the time I was 4 or 5, I probably understood enough English and could speak some English. There was still somewhat of a struggle still even when I got to school, because in school you have school language and you have a whole different environment that you have to get accustomed to. I wasn't sure when I was addressed that I was really understanding everything that was said to me. It's definitely a bicultural world, not only bilingual, but bicultural. So when you get to school, you start learning about all these holidays that wasn't celebrated at home. So there were a lot of things that I started noticing along 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade. And I think I became keenly aware also our lives, like on Sundays, I'd hear kids say, well, we went to church and then Sunday afternoon we went to the lake, or we went here and there. And that wasn't my life. When we came to church, we were here all day. That's just the way it had always been since the 1800s. And I'm living this life in the 1960s and 70s, and that's what we do. We come to church and we stay all day Sunday, and we don't go home until 4:30 or 5. Hearing other students talk about how their lives were, I realized was very different. And at the same time, I realized they didn't really realize how us Choctaw kids lived. My mother had me and left me with my grandmother to raise. My grandmother would fry chicken and bake biscuits, and the next morning we didn't have a car, but she'd say, we're going to start walking, and somebody will pick us up. And so we'd start walking from Wright City, and from Wright City to here is about 18 miles. I was raised seeing that type of resilience, determination, living out her faith, thinking back to people on the Trail of Tears that they embodied that, and with it was resilience and determination in the midst of turmoil and trouble. And of course, we all face that in everybody's life, everyone's lives. When you take these spiritual principles and you apply them to your life, you embody them and you begin to live them out, regardless of what goes on around you, because that's your belief system is what gives us guidance and direction. And also in my lifetime, I've seen examples of people who were not speakers, who didn't understand the language, but because those hymns are spiritual, I've seen them be moved by what they're singing, even though they don't understand the words. So it goes beyond language, I believe that does, because it's spiritual truth for us. And when you sing those songs, those hymns, and you understand what you're singing, it just touches your heart. It moves you. It moves your spirit, because we're spirit beings. Together we're more is mean that we can be better people, better servants, making a better world for all Choctaws around, because we all experience the same needs, the same wants, the same aspirations. And so I think as many different ways as we meet those needs for other people, then that points to who we are spiritually as well. And we know that places like this will provide that. It's the place where we raise our children, marriages, funerals. It's the life of the community. The children know we're here. And I think as each one ages, their hearts start turning back, just like ours did. And it's home. It's home.